The IRGC Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps have taken a couple of setbacks recently. From Damascus come reports of a failed IRGC-backed coup, leaving Russia with a firmer grip on the Syrian outcome. Rumors say IRGC militias tried to depose Al Assad in favor of his brother Maher, but Russian forces blocked their advance in Damascus and at the Al-Mazar air base. British newspaper The Independent reports Syrian President Bashar Al Assad was hospitalized after suffering a stroke and serious psychological strain. Evidence supporting an Iranian-backed coup and a Russian-backed counter-coup is thin, but evidence of internal politics in Damascus always is. However, 2 days later, the regime announces President Assad is in excellent health. Back in Cold War days, Russia frequently used this health tactic prior to military takeover. Could this be the case in Syria? It's the fact Assad asked Russia for help, Syria was in chaos, and Assad wasn't winning his war. The Russians prefer to work with state institutions, but the Assad regime was so weak the Russians had no choice but to work with non-state allies, such as Hezbollah and various militias, including the Liwa al-Quds. Russian reorganized Assad's 70,000-man army in late 2015, forming the new 4th Assault Corps, combining Syrian forces and Latakia, Russian forces and pro-Assad militia. Russia's reforms continued. In 2016, the new 5th Assault Corps was formed in Aleppo. Advisors retrained Syrian militia and equipped them with military hardware. Russia's consolidation of power in Syria presents problems for Iran. The IRGC supported the military intervention, but not Russian political intervention. Russia's gain is Iran's loss. Russia and the IRGC have been in conflict ever since Russian troops entered Syria. Moscow's aims to reinforce Assad's conventional forces. Iran controls 40,000 fighters in Syria, with Tehran creating a Syrian Hezbollah plus Iraqi Shia militias. Russia's stated goal is to leave al-Assad's in control. The IRGC's aim is to liberate Syria from rebels and jihadists and install a strong pro-Iranian regime. Financially, al-Assad's regime is broke and in debt to Tehran. Instead of cash, they're giving land. And the more Syrian land Iranians own, the more determined they'll be to get the regime they want. The Republican Guards Division remains loyal to Bashar Al Assad and has contributed to the Russian reorganization. But the 4th Armored Division, which Maher al-Assad commands and is a key unit defending Damascus, reportedly went on high alert during the apparent coup attempt in late January. Previously, the 2 divisions, each loyal to different Assad brother, had reportedly shot at each other. If the IRGC did attempt to replace Bashar al-Assad, it clearly failed, and things remain unchanged in Syria for now. That doesn't mean the regime is safe and secure. Syria still relies on 2 foreign allies, and both allies want a different endgame. There's also news of the death of an IRGC commander, Kirallah Ahmadi. He was embedded with Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces, PMF, as an advisor. He was killed by an Islamic State booby trap near Tal Afar airport west of Mosul. The PMF, an organization of Iraqi Shiite militias, are dominated by IRGC-backed groups, claimed gains near Tal Afar last week. During the 1980-88 Iran-Iraq War, Ahmadi served in a sabotage battalion of the IRGC, indicating his active duty prior his Iraq deployment. The IRGC deploys active and retired officers in Syria and Iraq. The IRGC Nabi Akram Corps are stationed in predominantly Shiite Kurdish Kermanshah province in western Iran. In the past, members of provincial units and the battalion have supported Syrian operations. Ahmadi's military activities in Iraq and possibly Syria are unknown. His PMF members called him al-Batal, or the hero. An obituary poster described him as commander, and some Iranian press called him Sada, or brigadier general. Ahmadi received a hero's burial at West Islamabad, Kermanshah. The loss of Ahmadi is a blow to the Guard, but many others are ready to take his place as the IRGC continues as the dominant force in post-Islamic State Iraq. IRGC External Operations Branch, the Quds Force, and its nominally domestic branch, the Ground Forces, have been advising PMF units and Shiite militias since the rise of Islamic State in 2014. Ground Forces, including Basij paramilitary, supported Kurds after the Islamic State invasion. Many regular Iranian forces were called home after IRGC Shiite militias and Iraqi forces started pushing Islamic State back. However, the IRGC escalated its campaign in Syria in September 2015, about the same time as Russian forces arrived. We'll keep closely watching how things develop over the coming months.